What's good, everybody? Welcome into a very special episode of our brand new golf show. We are still working on the name, but we might have a winner in the chat. We will have to see. We have to get it through all of our copyright people at CBS. But why are we recording on a Tuesday this week? That's because the PGA Tour has a Wednesday start. Now, the DP World Tour, they're playing the Dubai Desert Classic. Rory McIlroy is the betting favorite over there. But here in the States, at the Farmers Insurance Open, Jon Rahm leads the field coming off his last two starts were 2 victories, and it might be the lowest number that I've seen in a very, very long time on a full field event here at the PGA Tour. In fact, he is less than 5-1 to win this week in Torrey Pines. Let's go ahead and show everybody the betting odds before I bring in the stars of the show. Here's what it looks like right now. Plus 350. Are you kidding me? Plus 350 to win a PGA Tour event. Xander and Tony Finau, Justin Thomas close behind, but Jon Rahm, you got to be very, very gutsy if you're going to bet on him this week. All right, let's bring in the stars of the show. You know him. You love him. First and foremost, he is everything golf at SportsLine. I was actually reading one of your articles today, and I don't even know how I feel about it, but it had great information. Patrick McDonald, good afternoon, sir.
What's going on, gang? And the key with writing, coach, is you got to draw in the reader with the lead, and I hope I got you with that article today. But, yeah, everyone check out cbssports.com, sportsline.com. Get the clicks up for us.
There you go. And also, we wouldn't mind if you just hit the like button here on this show. It kind of helps us a little bit as we are now a YouTube exclusive show. So if you have anybody that listens on Apple or Spotify that says, hey, where's the show? Say, hey, go check it out on YouTube. This is the only place you can find it. Now, he is the counselor of cash, and he has been all over the place with the NFL playoffs, DFS, but he is locked and loaded today. See Nejad. Good afternoon.
Locked and loaded indeed, and I guess I'll be more so once football season is over, but I'm feeling like it's actually golf season at this point, so it feels really good. Yes, we have the course rotation thing. I could probably do with that, so we got a couple more weeks of that, but I'm really looking forward to this tournament. Looking forward to some NFL action too, but I'm really locked in on golf at this point, and I'm really excited about it.
Real quick, because I don't know who came up with a big cheesy act like he did. How do you guys feel about the early wedge as the name of the show?
I'm personally a fan of wedge salads, 56 degrees, all sorts, so I'm okay with it.
Oh, 56 degrees to something. How about 56 degrees? Because that's your scoring club right there. Oh, Patrick McDonald, you may be on to something. See your thoughts?
I like it, but I like the brainstorming session Patrick just had with himself. Maybe there's some nuance here we can introduce to this name.
I know.
We can play on it. We can play on it.
We can play on it. All right. But let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about today, gentlemen. Also, if you stay all the way until the end of the show, we'll have some bonus picks on the Dubai Desert Classic this week. So you want to stay tuned for that. But as always, we start with storylines that could affect the betting lines in the world of golf. It doesn't necessarily have to be on this particular week. So, Patrick, I know you're looking at some rookies on tour. Start us off.
Yeah, the California swing, we're in the middle of it. Next week, the boys are heading to Pebble Beach. But like Sia said previously, this is another course rotation week. We had 3 last week at PGA West. We have 2 this week at Torrey Pines. And we have another 3 next week at Pebble Beach. So that's 8 different golf courses in the span of 3 weeks. And when you look at rookies and these new caddies coming out, they don't have prior experience at these golf courses. So it's a lot of legwork for these caddies. And PGA Splits, Ron Kloss on Twitter put it out. 19 out of the 21 winners here at the Farmers Insurance Open had 5 prior starts at this tournament. So experience matters this time of year. It allows players to rest a little bit more during the week leading up to the tournament. And that energy is key come the back 9 on, I guess, Saturday this week.
It is going to be kind of weird, but I love these Saturdays finishes when they decide to do them. And you used a very, very important word there, Patrick, experience. That was the word I kept coming back to when I was making my picks this week. So much history at this course, or these courses, I should say. Patrick, thank you very much. Now, I'm going to go next with my storyline because it has nothing to do with the PGA Tour. It has nothing to do with the DP World Tour yet. Now, you may have passed over this information because of all the NFL this week, but the World Long Drive Tour, who which I was the voice of until COVID killed it on the Golf Channel. It has been bought by a group of people in New York. They're bringing it back, signing a 5-year deal to air it on the Golf Channel. Why is this important this week? Well, this is a golf betting show. Long Drive is made for golf betting. They're going to have 12 events, 30 events worldwide. They're changing the game, more money, millions of dollars they claim, and I hope it's true. But I want you all to keep an eye on some names. We'll throw some bets out here on the events that they have. The first one, March 10th through the 12th. But I said this a couple of years ago. If they ever bring it back, boy, I think it could explode. Now, they haven't called me yet to be the voice, but if you saw the promos that are running on social media, yeah, that's your boy. Yeah. Call me. All right, let's get back to this week, because one of the hardest things to do, Nejad, is to win back-to-back weeks or back-to-back starts on the PGA Tour. However, Jon Rahm has a chance to take it a step further this week. You're up.
Yeah, let's go three-peat. Let's go back-to-back for Jon Rahm. I mean, this is something you don't really see in golf. You certainly don't see back-to-back very often, but he's got a shot. I mean, he's the odds-on favorite to win this week as well. And, you know, we're getting into a stratosphere, and I'm not going to compare Jon Rahm to Tiger Woods, but we just don't see this a lot. I think we saw it from DJ a few years ago where we thought, okay, he's peeking into Tiger Woods territory. But since then, we just have not seen a guy dominate like this. And we all saw it coming. We all saw it coming with Jon Rahm, but that doesn't mean you get the finishes. You know, when we say we see it coming, we expect like a win, a second place, a fifth place. This guy is just flat out winning in dominating fashion, which again, you do not often see in golf. So if he can pull this off and go 3 in a row, it's just something that I think we really need to marvel at, pause, and start to consider where Jon Rahm sits in the pantheon of golfers.
Have you ever seen, Patrick, a plus 350 favorite in a full field event?
I mean, I know I'm a little bit younger than you guys, not by much, but no, I haven't. I mean, not since prime Tiger.
I think that would probably be it, right? I mean, there's been this number for like a Hero World Challenge or a limited field event, but not this. A full field, 2 courses, bombers, and you want me to bet 3.5 to 1? No, thank you. No freaking thank you. All right, great storylines, boys, to get things started. Now, you know, on this show, it's not just about the picks. It's about the information, but also we do DFS, which whether it's a daily, whether it's a tournaments, whatever it is, we've got 2 of the absolute very best. So, Sia, start us off. What do you like in the DFS market this week, sir?
There's a few guys I've got my eye on. I mean, obviously in DFS, you want to pay attention to ownership and things of that nature. Max Homa is going to carry some ownership, but it's not anything out of control. And considering his price at 9,100, I think he's a great play. Listen, we know the West Coast vibes are good with Max Homa. We know he's good on POA. He's good around the green. He's got good experience here. He's really checking a lot of the boxes that we want on this particular course, or on the South course specifically. So at 9,100, I love the value there. The next 2 guys I like are in that 7K range. Wyndham Clark at 7,900 and Thomas Dietrich at 7,600. Wyndham Clark is a guy, you know, he wasn't great last week, particularly on approach, but we're starting to see the approach game start to trend in the right direction for Wyndham Clark. He's a guy that's always been known as a bomber. That's certainly going to help him here. But if the approach game stays, you know, trending in the right direction, and we know he's good on POA as well, I think he's a really good value at 7,900. And then Thomas Dietrich. I'm just trying to get Thomas Dietrich a little earlier than the market. There are some people that are on Thomas Dietrich, but he's not like prohibitively owned by any means. At 7,600, I think he's a pretty good value considering what his upside is. Now, from a fade standpoint, I'm going to fade Matt McNeely. And it's nothing against Matt McNeely, but he's pretty popular. He's in that middle 8K range on DraftKings. And, you know, being in that 20%-ish range, I'm just not interested in taking Matt McNeely. I know he's good out in the West Coast. I know he's good on POA, all of those things. But I'm just going to go ahead and fade him if everybody else is going to be on.
You just pulled yesterday. I got into a heated argument on the Twitter with some people who are fans of Stephen A. Smith because I kind of went after him a little bit. You just pulled what I like to call a Stephen A. Smith. Do you know what that is?
No, but I already hate it.
It's when he does this. Maverick McNeely. Oh, great player. Solid player. Loves playing in the West. However, so he'll insult somebody after he gives them the compliment. So then he can say, I didn't say anything bad about him. What are you talking about? Did you hear what I said? So it wasn't a full Stephen A, but it was a little bit of a Stephen A. Just a little bit. But you're much nicer than he is on camera. He's a good dude off camera. All right, Patrick. So we see Sia and what he likes this week from a DFS perspective. What do you like, sir?
We're going straight to the clearance rack with our 3 selections. Jonathan Vegas, $7,000. He didn't play in the fall because he had a surgery there, but he's played in this tournament every year since 2011. First time out, actually, his debut. He finished T3, dunked it in the water on the 72nd hole. I strangely remember that moment for some reason. And yeah, he gained 3 strokes ball striking in his 1 round at the stadium course last week. Didn't make the cut. But really good long iron player, really long off the tee, which you're going to need to have. The South Course stretches 7,700 yards. It's rained a ton in the San Diego area. You're going to have to be long off the tee. And another guy who's really good in that aspect of the game is Brendan Steele at 7,300. In his 2 rounds on the stadium course, he gained nearly 8 strokes ball striking. That's pretty ridiculous. And he's typically really bad on and around the greens, but in his 10 appearances here, he's gained strokes putting in 7 of them. So if he can be neutral, a little positive, that's going to go a long way for Brendan Steele. And then Ricky Fowler, $7,600. Coming back slowly but surely. We saw him in the fall there. He played great in Napa, great in Japan as well. Runner-up finished there at the Zozo Championship. And he's in the top quarter of this field in driving distance and driving accuracy. And a lot of people with Ricky Fowler, they tend to think that he's just a little squirrely off the tee, but it's really not the case. And top 15 in bogey avoidance as well. Still very strong around the greens, and the irons are slowly but surely perking up. It'll really come down to the putter, and it hasn't been great here in the past. I'll admit that, but I'm willing to risk that with Ricky Fowler at $7,600. And for my fade, it's Colin Morikawa at $10,000. I think everyone saw what he did at the Tournament of Champions. Probably should have won that tournament, let's be honest. And but outside the top 100 the last 6 months in putting, scrambling, 3-putt avoidance, he's not very long off the tees. So if he's missing fairways, he is very accurate, I'll tell you that. But if he's missing fairways, he's going to struggle. And I understand that his putting was red hot at the Tournament of Champions. But the weird thing about Colin Morikawa is when he putts very well, he also tends to really overperform from tee to green as well. That's why you see him winning all these big tournaments all the time. So it really wasn't just his putting that spiked. It was the rest of his game too. I think that comes back down to earth this week, and that's why I'm fading him around 17-ish% owned.
Yeah, and the one thing that really fell off in that final round was his short game. It was not good at all, just chilly dipping. By the way, I'm glad you brought up the rain. La Jolla, Torrey Pines, is exactly 52 miles from where I'm sitting right here, right now. My club that I play at, we haven't been able to drive on the course for over a month. It has been cart path only. And these are elite level Southern California courses. And we can't drive on them. It's been that much rain. It's crazy. These are already long courses, as Patrick said, but it's going to be even longer this week because it's been raining nonstop for 4 weeks. It's been the craziest weather we've ever seen out here in Southern California. Great point by Patrick. All right, we got to get into our head-to-heads, our best bets, our top 20s, our top 10s, our long shots. We got a lot to get to, but first, we got to hear from one of our partners.
Golf's biggest stars descend on Oak Hill for one unforgettable major. The PGA Championship coming in May to CBS.
How about 23 big events this year on CBS? I think we need a Manning cast. How about you guys? Would you love to see a Manning cast?
I see 3 of us right here. Come on.
That's what I'm saying.
How come it hasn't happened already? Let's go.
See, my relationship with the two right now, very tenuous when you bring up a Manning cast. I like my job there. I'd like to keep it, but I have pushed. Trust me, I have pushed up to a level. But hopefully it happens very, very soon. We can make one of those streams on ESPN Plus, a betting, if we wanted to. We'll get there. All right, it is that time. You know our bread and butter here at the early wedge or the 56 degrees to whatever the show is called. It feels good, right? But our head-to-heads are our bread and butter. It's not fun. It's not sexy, but this is where you make your money. So, Patrick McDonald, if you don't mind, start us off. What do you like this week, head-to-heads? And if you don't mind letting us know where you got these as well.
Yep, so I got 4 this week. The top 2 are from Bet365. The bottom 2 are from DraftKings. And the first one, Xander Schauffele, -120 over Justin Thomas. Xander Schauffele's played 100-plus rounds at this golf course and 14 starts since his missed cut at the Masters. 3 wins, 5 top 5s, and 5 top 20s. Justin Thomas's irons are a little bit off. Kind of surprisingly, he's without a top 10 finish in a full field event since the Canadian Open in June.
What?
It really hasn't been that great for Justin Thomas. The putters obviously let him down a little bit, but the iron play is lagged behind, and he's kind of kept afloat a little bit with some really good chipping. And I just like Xander -120 with the comfort level he has around these parts. And then Tony Finau -120 over Colin Morikawa. I said why I didn't like Morikawa this week. And for Finau, before his missed cut at this tournament last year, 7 starts, 7 top 25s, 4 were top 6 finishes. Give me Finau where you're going to have to bomb it off the tee. Absolutely. JJ Spawn -110 over Justin Rose. He's another local guy. He went to SDSU as well. Really accurate off the tee. Top 5 in bogey avoidance the last 6 months. Consistent gains with the irons. And I just believe Justin Rose, you're paying a premium for his course history here. He had a decent start last week, but long term, I like Spawn a lot more. And then Keegan Bradley +100 over Thigala. Thigala is a Cali guy, but it's shocking how bad he is off the tee. Both distance, accuracy. He's bleeding strokes to the field every week, it seems like. Bradley, much more consistent off the tee. That's a huge factor this week. And at plus money, I love it.
See, do you mind if I go next? Would you
Go
mind
ahead.
if I jumped in here real
Go
quick?
ahead.
So we might have an issue here, Mr. McDonald. We just might have an issue here. So I'll do my first 3, and then we'll deal with you. So Ryan Palmer over Hayden Buckley. You know my man almost cashed a big ticket 2 weeks ago, and then Buckley couldn't get the job done right at the finish line. That hurts. But Patrick had the right call. But Ryan Palmer has history, has, what's the word we're talking about this week? Experience on this course. If you are a new player or a rookie or something, you can't, well, it's not that you can't. It's very, very hard. This is a U.S. Open course. John Rahm won the U.S. Open on this course. So Ryan Palmer loves playing here. Last year, a T16. I just don't think Buckley's going to play well because he won't be able to figure it out. Plus, I don't think he's a great bomber. So then we'll Tony Finau over Max Homa. I disagree with Sia that this is a good course for Max Homa. The greens might be, but I just don't think he's long enough. I could be wrong, but I think Tony Finau is the bomber that we're looking for. Then Will Zalatoris, he lost. I was standing right behind him last year when his putter went out, then in, then out again on a putt that wasn't even close to win it all. But the bigger the course, the harder the course, the better it is for Will Zalatoris. Siwoo Kim played well last week. He won the week before. I think he's going to be a little bit tired. Zalatoris is going to be fresh. So I'll take Zalatoris over Siwoo Kim. Now, Mr. McDonald, I know you're never one to back down from a showdown. So I see that you like JJ Spawn. I do not. So the question is very, very simple. Are you in?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go, Snake. Let's go, Snake.
It's gonna be a showdown.
Oh, you said, and I quote, we're paying a premium for his course history here. Well, I guess we should because he was T6 a year ago. Last week, he played well again. And I saw a little interview because I go a step beyond Patrick McDonald. And I saw him after one of his good rounds last week at the American Express. Do you know what he said? He said, I'm recommitting myself. I understand I still have the game at 42 years of age.
Damn.
I'll take it motivated.
We must have seen a different interview because I heard him say, there's no way I beat JJ Spawn next week at the Farmers Insurance Open.
I heard that. That's the thing.
That was crazy.
That might have been an exclusive I got, actually.
I was going to say, I wonder if he said that to Rick Gaiman. I think that Rick G got that one. All right, well, there's a showdown. I'll take Justin Rose, my man Patrick McDonald. It's the first of many, I have a feeling we'll have this year here on 56 Degrees to Nowhere. Sounds like a good movie on Netflix right there. All right, see you, Nejad. I know you've got a couple. Give them to us, big boy.
Can I just say, speaking of showdowns and Rick Gaiman and Patrick McDonald, I think I'm developing a showdown with both of those guys. You know why? Because this first matchup, Jason Day over Taylor Montgomery, Jason Day is my one and done pick, but I'm barred from making it because apparently one and done picks were due at 8 a.m. this morning. Do you know why, Coach? Because Patrick and Rick decided that they were going to do the show at 8 a.m. when everybody is on YouTube and watching.
I got to step in here and defend myself.
No, you don't, because I'm the former commissioner. I invented this game. I am this game. And when you have a show that starts a day earlier, you have to send out a text to everybody and say, hey, guys, by the way, did that happen to you?
Well, okay. So I was told that picks have to come in earlier. But normally in the normal course, Coach, we get a text from either it's the producer or somebody else. Hey, you don't have your pick in. I never got that text. And again, 8 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
The circumstances are certainly extenuating. And Coach, this is on the heels of somebody being able to change their pick 3 weeks ago after they learned that Xander Schauffele was suffering a back injury. Now, if that doesn't fit the extenuating circumstances argument, then that's okay. But he was able to change his pick. I am not. It seems a little sketchy to me.
It doesn't seem a little sketchy. It seems all the way sketchy. And I know that was Mark Immelman. So you're allowed to name names that did that 3 weeks ago. Oh, no. We're putting them on blast. You cannot change your pick because you found out a guy was hurt. If you don't do your homework, that's on you. That's not on everybody else. Plus, Sia's got credibility for days. He's not going to change his pick just because he didn't have it in on time on a special week on a Wednesday start. But, hey, I'm not the commissioner anymore. I'm not on that show anymore. I was told that, hey, we want you to dazzle only on the early edge. So first cut, that's on you too. That's on you too.
All right.
Anyway,
let me say this. We
Yes,
only
Patrick.
moved it to 8 a.m. because Rick had to drive to Torrey Pines today. I'm cool with Sia getting his pick in. The tournament hasn't started yet. As for Mark, bury him all you want, please. I'm cool with that. His day of reckoning will come down the line when he is not leading the one and done. But I'm cool with Sia adding Jason Day to the mix.
Wait a second. Are you telling me that for the second year in a row, Mark Immelman, who doesn't even know what golf betting is leading the one and done?
Well, that was the drama. He had Xander for the Tournament of Champions. Didn't
So he
tell
changed
anyone
it
he
too.
switched, and he switched to John Rahm.
Wait, did he switch before the tournament or after he had withdrawn?
He switched right before the tournament, but after the show and after the picks were in.
Fraud, I say. All right, boy, we've got a lot of things circulating here. That's why we started our own golf show, so I could monitor what we do. And by the way, we're going to do a one and done ourselves. I told you this is a soft launch. After Super Bowl Sunday, we really get things going. That's why I said we got to have the name of the show done before the Super Bowl. All right, Sia, you're up. Go.
Sorry for interrupting the flow of the show. Sia Nejad Esquire just presenting the facts. Jason Day over Taylor Montgomery. So you harped on experience, Coach. Jason Day, I love his experience here. You look at his track record here, it's great. But if you look at his recent form, it's even better. We're starting to see the old Jason Day. I don't really think there's a weakness that he has on this course. And Taylor Montgomery is red hot. He's one of the hottest guys on tour. I just wonder how long that's going to last. And on this course, with this setup on the South Course specifically, I'm not so sure he outduels Jason Day. So give me Jason Day, his experience and recent form here. Wyndham Clark over Robbie Shelton. Listen, both of these guys are hitting the ball really well. If you actually look at across the strokes gain metrics, Robbie Shelton's playing a little bit better recent form-wise than Wyndham Clark, but I don't think he's a better course fit than Wyndham Clark. Now, they both have some experience here. I just like how Wyndham Clark sets up here in terms of bombing it, in terms of being good on POA. I think this is a good time to take advantage of a Wyndham Clark that's going a little unnoticed.
I think people need to understand, too, they did some work on the North Course a couple of years ago. It's no longer the walkover that it used to be. You know, remember you used to see the leaderboard on Thursday and it was all NC, 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 NC. It's not that way anymore. And to Sia's point, it is different greens, too. It's bent grass greens on the North Course, but they'll pay the POA 3 times. They'll play it once, and then after the cut, they play it over the weekend. So kind of a different course, but they're both very, very difficult. You got to be able to drive it long and drive it straight. And that would lead to top 20s, top 10s, if you can do that. And that's where we go next here on the show. So Patrick McDonald, I know you're going to sit out this one because this is not where you make your money. And if people pay attention to who they follow, whether it's Patrick's here or myself, we kind of like things that we like to do. Patrick doesn't like to do these, so he doesn't force it. But Sia, you and I do. What do you like this week in this market?
Yeah, and full disclosure, you know, top 40 markets I like quite a bit as well. And it's just one of those things where not a lot of books offer top 40. So top 20 is a nice little sweet spot between the top 40 and the top 10. if you have top 40 available, I would consider all the picks I give out in the top 40 market as well. Obviously, you're not going to be, it's going to be a little bit shorter in terms of the odds, but I like Max Homa. Listen, Coach, I know you don't think he's a great course fit here. I kind of think he does. I agree that he's not super long, but I love his short game around the green. I think he's really going to do well. And I think that's something we obviously have to look at when we're evaluating golfers on this course. It's not just being a bomber. That short game is really going to come into play, specifically around the green. So I like Max Homa to top 20 at plus 110. Sung J M, he's kind of getting a little unnoticed here, but I like his game quite a bit. He doesn't get it out there super far, but he's not super short either. And he does pretty much everything well from a strokes gained metric standpoint. I think he's solid at a plus number for top 20. A couple of guys to dabble on, and if you don't want to do this, I totally get it. You don't have to take all of our picks. You just have to take the ones you like, right? These are longer shots to top 20. I've mentioned them already. Patrick Rodgers at plus 330, Thomas Dietrich at plus 360. I think the upside here for both of these guys is really, really tremendous. Off the tee, both of these guys are absolutely going to bomb it. And I think Dietrich is really, his trajectory is really kind of rising. And I think we're going to see him, I think in a top 20 market, even on a long course, maybe in 2 months, we'll see a top 20 that maybe like plus 270 instead of plus 360. I think that's the trajectory he's on. And again, Patrick Rodgers, I think, is playing really well. He will get it out there. Short game, not bad either.
It's all about catching these guys before the books catch up with them, isn't it? Watching their numbers rise is kind of cool. And it also makes you feel good as a golf handicapper like we are that we were able to target them before they get to that. That makes us feel good. Now, see, I know you're never one to walk away from smoke, right? You're never one to walk away from smoke. Our man Joe does not agree with your Jason Day over Taylor Montgomery bet, and he would love a showdown on that particular bet. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are I like Joe because he's a big fan of this show and all our early edge stuff because I recognize that name quite well. However, my fandom of Joe ends today. Play the music. Let's go, Joe.
It's gonna be a showdown.
I didn't see that one coming. I thought you were gonna stand pat. That
Even ate him.
He did, just sucking him right in. All right, Joe. I need you to put your Venmo into the chat for me. You know the drill. If it's over on Friday, you got to pay by midnight on Friday. If it's not over until Sunday, then you got to pay by midnight on Sunday, and the same goes for Sia. So, Joe, you got it. I need your Venmo, and it is on like Donkey Kong. Now, let's go to my top 20s and my top 10s, and I'll make it very, very quick for you. Taylor Montgomery, I do like him this week, and the reason I like him is because last year he played well here. Both these guys were top 20s a year ago before anybody knew them. I know Taylor Montgomery has been playing every single week. I get it. He might be tired. But I'm going to bet him until his top 20 wheels fall off. He has proven, whether it's the Sony Open or whether it's a big boy golf course like here a year ago, this dude can play. And Taylor Pendrith, if you see him, he's really big, he's really strong, and he's really good on this golf course at plus 225 for a top 20. I will take it. Then I love Jason Day this week. So, Joe, don't got your back on that showdown either. Jason Day, they talked about it on the broadcast last week. I encourage you all, don't just look at the results. Listen to the announcers. They do the work for a reason. Jason Day has recommitted himself. He has been traveling away from Ohio during the holiday break, during the winter break to work on his game. He is committed. He wants to be a top 10 player, and I think he will play very, very well, just like he did last week. I think he will this week yet again. All right. It is that time of the show where we try to grab our crystal ball because the hardest thing to do in golf betting is to predict the winner. But we give you the information, and as Sia said, you choose for yourself. So, Patrick McDonald, you clearly don't agree with me, but you do agree with your boy. So who do you like this week to potentially raise that trophy?
Coach, I don't have many rules in life. Don't eat yellow snow, buy good tires. You don't want to skimp on those and replace them later. And then the third, bet Max Homa in the state of California. A winner in LA, twice in Napa Valley. He had a really kind of sneaky T3 finish there at the Tournament of Champions. Over the last 6 months, he's top 10 in this field, tee to green on approach. And like Sia said, it's really the around the green game that Max Homa is going to be able to separate himself this week. He's implemented a new putting coach, Phil Kenyon, using aim points. So if you're watching on the broadcast and you're like, what the heck is this guy doing with his fingers? He's reading the break of the green. That's exactly what he's doing. 22-1 is a price I love. He missed the cut at this tournament last year, but before that, a T18 and T9 finish. So give me all of Max Homa at 22-1.
Okay. I'm trying to think how we can position ourselves a showdown here in a second, but I'm getting really close. See, I'm going to let you go next before I do that.
Yeah, I'll take Will Zalatoris' upside here. I don't know that I'm playing him a lot in DFS, but in the outright market, I'm happy to play him at plus 1,800. Listen, if the back injury is a thing of the past, this is a pretty good number on Will Zalatoris. I understand that Jon Rahm is in this tournament as well, so buyer beware if you're not betting Jon Rahm, which, like Coach said it from the front end of the show, you shouldn't be because the number's ridiculous. But I do like Will Zalatoris' upside and his he checks every box in terms of being able to perform on this course. We'll see what happens with the short game, but I like Will Zalatoris' upside. Max Homa, we've already talked about at plus 2,200. Hideki is an interesting case, and I'm only betting him. Certainly, I'm not really playing him in DFS, although I think you could do that from a contrarian standpoint. But at 40-1, listen, the game has been way off. If you look at the off the tee numbers, it's like kind of a joke. But he's also Hideki Matsuyama, and at 40-1, we've gotten to a range with him where I'm okay betting him outright because we know he has the upside. We know he can get hot. Is it going to happen this tournament? Probably not, but he's Hideki and he's 40-1. I'm going to bet that.
Sometimes there's names you just have to, because if they find that game and click, ooh, that can be a nice cash, as Sia just said. Now, getting a lot of reaction to you two in the chat. First, Lori says, is this a new side of Sia? Ninja mode. He's coming after people today. No, Lori, it's not. This is who he is. Rest assured, this is who he is. And that's why I love him so much. Don't let the nice guy, oh, I'm a lawyer, fool you. Stop it. Stop it. And then Big Cheesy says, man, Patrick McDonald is smooth as his takes. Hard not to tail his picks. Patrick, don't let Big Cheesy rope you in. He will challenge you to a showdown and not even blink twice.
I paid him $10 to comment that, so I appreciate it. Man of his word.
When is Will Z going to get one? Well, Joe, that's the big question. But I'm going to be here betting him until he does. He really should have got it done a year ago. And let's understand, Will Zalatoris, the bigger the ballpark, where did he almost win at a major last year? In Tulsa, Southern Hills. Big boy ballpark. These are what these players have in common. I promise you, do not bet on a player who is medium to short. They do not compete here at all. Then I like Jason Day plus 2,500 because I think it's such a hard thing to do to pick winners. It really is. It's like I put maybe 0.1 units on a winner. I rarely pick winners. I'm betting. I just don't like to do it. And I know it's very, very hard. Yes, Sia, go.
Coach, one thing to consider here, my outright picks are all starting on the North Course. And the reason I'm doing it that way, and we'll see how it all plays out. But obviously the North Course is going to be easier. I understand it's harder than it was before, but it is going to be easier than the South Course. What that means is the guys on the North Course after day one are probably going to have shorter odds than they deserve because they performed in aggregate better than the golfers on the South Course. So my thought here is, and I know other people share this thought as well, is pre-flop, before the tournament starts, bet the North Course guys that you like. The guys on the South Course, because their odds may be longer because there's not going to be the proper market correction for them, they may be longer than they should be because their scores are lower. So maybe live bet the South Course guys and pre-flop bet the North Course guys.
I tell you this all the time. Educate and entertain. Educate and entertain. You got to know how you're going to attack. It's a game plan, and you got to have a betting game plan as well. See ya. Thank you very much. Now, as I mentioned, we always do something at the end where it's a little bit of fun, maybe a little bit of long shot. And this week, we're each going to make a pick for the Dubai Desert Classic, where Rory McIlroy is the betting favorite. He's also down close to like plus 400, plus 500. It's crazy. That's how good Rory has been playing lately. So, Patrick McDonald, let me come to you from a long shot, first round leader, whatever you want in this category. What do you like?
I went with the big hitting Belgian, Thomas Pieters, 35-1. He's made 6 straight cuts at this event, T12 last year. He did miss the cut last week in a title defense in Abu Dhabi, but the name of the game at this golf course is really drive it really far and make a lot of putts. And Peters has really had a resurgence with the putter since the middle of the summer. We saw Victor Hovland win here last year. Rory McIlroy probably should have won the tournament as well. He hit one in the water on the 72nd hole. So I like Thomas Peters at 35-1. I think it's a very fair number. And then I also like him to lead after the first round at 45-1. You can find out there. And then a long shot in California, Ricky Fowler, 110-1. I don't love shopping this far down with who we have at the top 5 out of the top 10 players in the world and kind of who tends to win this tournament. It's the game elite. But I found this price a hair long for Fowler. I thought he'd be closer to 90 or 95. So I'm going to take what I believe is some value on a guy who I believe is trending back to relevance.
I love this pick. And the reason why, if people really go and look at the entire field this week, there's a big drop off. It's almost like there's a bunch of really good players and then the cliff. Mm-hmm. And so if you can get Ricky Fowler, who's below the cliff, I mean, he's to me in the top half of this field, but that number does not say that. And that is a value pick. Patrick McDonald, thank you very much. Now, see Nejad, you've got 2 different plays here from the Farmers and over in the desert. What do you like?
Yeah, over in the desert, I'm going to take Shane Lowry at plus 1,800. I think it's a pretty fair number. You know, it's not super crowded at the top. You got Rory and a few other guys, and then Shane Lowry, and then it's kind of everybody else. So, listen, you got to catch Shane Lowry at the right time. But when the ball striking is on, this guy is awesome, and we just haven't heard his name much. And I don't know if that's why he's 18-1 as opposed to maybe 14-1 or 16-1. But I do think there's value here at plus 1,800. And then my long shot, listen, this is truly a long shot. So again, if you don't want to take this, I get it. But I like Thomas Dietrich's trajectory. I will say this, new guys on this course, which he hasn't played this yet, or at least professionally on the PGA Tour. There have been a few that have played well their first time out. So again, at 100-1, I think I'm willing to speculate. This is no more than a sprinkle.
Every time I bring up the Dubai Desert Classic, it reminds me years ago. This is a true story. Years ago, I'm playing golf with Joe LaCava, and it was right basically before they committed to going and play in this event. Remember, Ty used to go over there and play all the time. And Joe wasn't exactly thrilled with having to go. I said, why not? He goes, Tiger's going to make $7 million during this trip. $7 million. He was playing $2 million 18-hole matches like the Prince of Dubai and all these different places. But caddies only get what the players make on the course, right? So when you're playing an appearance fee money, you don't get any of that. So Tiger used to maximize his trips and add all these personal appearances, and that's why he made so much money. Wouldn't you guys do the same? Yes?
Yeah, my fee's a little higher, though, so I don't know if I'd get the number of appearances.
I'm still trying to get on Cameo, Coach. I don't even understand what you're talking about. That's at a depth I just can't process.
I can't even imagine playing 18 holes of golf knowing that there's $2 million being sent to my manager as we speak. I can get you on Cameo, see ya. All right.
I mean, I was half kidding, but now it sounds kind of cool. So let's do it.
I think it would, because you've got to have themed cameos. That's what I do. Mine are just talking trash. I talk trash to everybody. That's what people book me for. You could do legal advice. You could do it all. All right. Very quickly, since I'm just wasting time, Justin Rose to win. You guys know me. For a long shot, it's got to be plus 5,000 or higher. That's my number. And Justin Rose, with his history here, last year he played well. Last week he played well. Do I think he's going to win? No, I do not. But at this number, is it worth a little sprinkle? Yes, I do believe it is. And then we haven't even talked, gentlemen, about the defending champion at this event. A year ago, Luke List on Sunday came out of nowhere. It was Will Zalatoris' tournament to win. So at plus 9,000, is it worth a little sprinkle to think maybe he could do it again? I think it might be. And then you're probably looking at me going, Coach, you're going to play a 51-year-old Irishman? Top 20 in the desert? You're damn right I am. Padraig Harrington finished all alone in 4th a week ago. He said, I think I still have what it takes to play one more full season competitively with the young kids, or youngins, as he likes to call them. So at plus 240, you're going to give me Padraig Harrington at a top 20? I'm going to cash that all day and just hit ball after, because that's all he does. That's all he does. All right, gentlemen, we have reached that time of the show where I ask you, What's the number one thing you're looking forward to this week? Use this knowledge for this week or into the future, because knowledge is power in golf betting. See ya. Start us off.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing if Rom can do it yet again. I'm looking forward to collecting my money from Joe. And for the record, this is a little off script, but the first round leaders just came out. They were on the board and they were off the board at DraftKings and some other places. I'll tweet some of those out that I like on the North Course and the South Course. Some of you don't have those odds, but if you do, it might be fun to sprinkle on a few of these guys.
By the way, in this C, because you're the expert at it, do most books have first round leader on each course that you can bet on?
That's
Yep.
right. Exactly.
Yep. Okay, great.
Yep.
By the way, Brian just said, if Sia wins the showdown, I want to see a Sia shoulder shimmy.
Well,
Are you familiar?
Go
Patrick,
ahead.
do you know what that is?
I don't know. Do I have to buy it on Cameo?
Good call.
No,
Marketing
very
piece.
good call. though.
Yeah.
Very good call. Yeah, we have this little show called Big Pick Energy Friday. The rest of us dance because we're really into it, and Sia does more of a shoulder shimmy.
He's a professional. Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
professional. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for
Top
some
button,
reason,
always buttoned.
always button.
Yeah.
Always button. Have you been practicing that in front of the mirror? See, I feel like you need to.
I probably need to. Seeing the Shaq GIF, I think I need to kind of perfect how he does it. But I thought the first one I rolled out by the way, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. I'll be on that show every single Friday. But I thought I did a pretty good job first time out. I think you guys were really just stunned by how well I did it. I think that's why you were laughing. It was just nervous laughter. Like I didn't know he was so good at the shimmy.
Well, it was better than the week before. You did nothing and you did this. That was what you did the first week. So we're baby steps with you. Oh my goodness. All right, Patrick, what are you looking forward to this week?
The shimmy is a little underrated. I'm in Sia's corner for that one. But kind of along the same lines, I'm interested to see kind of how Rory McIlroy takes. This past month, all he's heard is John Rahm, John Rahm, John Rahm. Rory McIlroy is still the number one player in the world. If John Rahm wins this week, it will be Rahm. But I'm interested to see if kind of Rory takes it to heart, plays with a little chip on his shoulder, and blitzes the field in Dubai.
And the greatest part about this, Patrick, is you can have John Rahm playing great. You can have Rory playing great. And we know we're going to see them against each other at least 17 times this year. And we'll see who is the very best. That's what I love about this new schedule. I really, really do. All right, Joe says, Coach is only $55 on Cameo right now. Must be a sale or something. That's all. Must be a sale. Because normally I'm like $500 at least. This is a true story, though. I once saw Alexi Thompson. She charged $300 for a Cameo. True story. So I thought, oh, it must be amazing. It was 7 seconds. Hey, Jackie, happy birthday. Have a good one.
Damn. Shout out to Jackie.
Shout out to Jackie. Sorry, God. I was like, you got mine are like 3 or 4 minutes. Like, I really get into it. Like, for $55, I think that's really good value. Really good value. Another job well done, gentlemen. Another job well done. All right. Normally, we are here every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. This week, a little bit different. But turn on your notifications. Follow all of my guys. So every time we start a show, then you get notified and you don't miss one single second of this incredible content. You never know what we're going to talk about. You never know. But with that being said, we've done all the damage that we can do. There's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window for my entire crew. Love them all. See you, Nejad, the counselor, Patrick McDonald at Amateur Status on the Twitter, and the amazing producer, always behind the scenes, the snake. I am the coach. Tell all your friends. It doesn't matter the sport, the day, the time. It doesn't matter. We grind for you so we can win with you right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.